The second thing I'm going to show is the bolt catch, bolt release mechanism. One big, not big, you can see it's that, not big, but it's one piece, one cast. The bolt stop, the bolt catch, the bolt release consists of this piece, a spring, a rocker pin that fits in the spring, and a roll pin. These four pieces fit in this area. If your kit has all the springs mixed together, there's another spring that looks just like that, but it's bigger on one end. The coils flare out in diameter. That is the trigger or disconnector spring, not to be confused with this device. This is a little homemade tool I've used for years. It's just a 1/4 inch rod with an off-center blind hole drilled in it. And its function was to accept this roll pin and hold it until I could get it installed. For purposes of this video, I purchased a commercial bolt catch install kit made by Wheeler. Brownells sells one just every bit as good as, or maybe better, but there's not much to it. And this cost $15. Consists of a tool to hold the roll pin and then a punch. I'll show you that. I just used, I have a set of these punches. You know, I bought the whole set. Here's a custom roll pin holding tool and a punch, and I'll show you why these are special. The roll pin has to be installed in this hole with a punch that lays this way. It's very difficult to install it the other way because of this raised area on the receiver. So with a short punch, there's a chance of the hammer hitting then. And it's also preferable to lay a piece of paper in here so that you don't scratch the receiver. Here's the roll pin holding tool, and you see it's flattened and it's covered with plastic down to here. So the way we use this is to put the roll pin in here, and you see it only goes in a certain distance, and then we install the roll pin. So let's do that. If we install the roll pin until the tool touches, it will leave a little white marred area down in here. So we just want to get the pin started with this. Seemed like an easy job, but it's very easy to do it with this set. Well, at least so far. Okay, so we've got the pin started. I'm going to put grease on the spring the same as I did before. It's one of those areas where people never lubricate, including myself. I'm not criticizing. Spring goes in, the rocker end goes in, then we need to check and make sure this is free, and it is. Okay. This has a hole in it right there. Fits in this way. This end. Let's see if we can get that. This little piece here fits on the rocker. And the pin goes through the hole and holds the whole assembly together. So we have to push down on this, try to get the hole arranged. So with the pin not driven the whole way through, it's imperative that this can be moved with your finger. If it's tightly, you need to rock it. The pin's not in the hole. Once it's free to rock like this, just put the pin back in, pin tool back. But that's it. Another part of the receiver assembly made easier by these custom tools. The rear pin is perhaps the easiest to install. Unlike the pivot pin or the front takedown pin, where the installation sequence was the spring, the detent pin, and then the takedown pin, we'll reverse the order for the rear one. Put in the takedown pin first, drop in the detent, and drop in the spring. Well, what holds it together? Well, it's held together with whatever butt stock, collapsible or not, holds it in. So I can't really finish this without getting a buttstock. Well, I don't like that. I really hate to leave the lower assembled, that is with trigger installed and safety selector, magazine release, but this is just sort of unfinished. And so in order to finish off this lower, I'm going to do another procedure. It's going to require this, which is a tap handle or tap driver, a 440 tap, an Allen wrench or hex driver. This is 50 thousandths of an inch. Some 440 by 1/8 set screws. Well, I only need one set screw. The tap, of course, fits into the tap holder. This tiny little hole that accepts the detent spring and pin is perfect for tapping with the number 440. And 440 means a number 4 screw with 40 threads to the inch. If you feel you must use some liquid on this, just a little dab of WD-40 will work fine. Make sure you've tapped it deep enough to accept the 440 screw. It just has to go below flush. Because we're going to hold the spring in place with the little set screw, I generally shorten the spring. So we'll do the same thing as we did in the front pivot pin. We'll insert the pin, insert the detent, not necessary, but I prefer to put a little grease. Then we need to push the spring in with a little set screw. To tighten the set screw until it's a little bit below the surface. This last modification is entirely optional. I do notice that receivers from Aero Precision come with this hole already tapped 440, which means you only need to acquire this or this in 50 thousandths and one of these little fellows. I bought a bag of 50 from monsterbolts.com, and they come in stainless and they come in steel. That is black steel. Again, the Wheeler bolt catch tool and this Real Avid pilot pin tool, which I think is the best thing we've used today. I'm going to go ahead, probably on camera, and finish this off someday. So if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, or at least come back. Thank you.